Frank was always the reliable one. Retired firefighter, Vietnam vet. A man who prided himself on showing up for his family, his crew, his country. But now, at 68, Frank sits in my office, quietly devastated. Not because of chest pain, not because of a bad diagnosis, but because, in his words, I just don't feel like a man anymore. It's not just the erections, he says. It's everything. The energy's gone. I feel invisible. I can't even look at my wife the same way. And here's the part that stings the most. Frank is far from alone. Every day I see men over 60 struggling in silence with symptoms no one warns them about. Weak or inconsistent erections, constant fatigue, emotional disconnection from their partners, feeling irrelevant in their own homes, wasting hundreds on supplements that don't work. The truth is, male decline after 60 doesn't start with testosterone. It starts with what's missing, deep inside your blood, brain, and cells. I'm Dr. Charles Bennett, a men's health specialist focused on restoring vitality after 60. And in today's video, I'm revealing 3 essential vitamins nearly every older man is missing, and how they hold the key to restoring your confidence, your desire, and your strength. If you're watching this, chances are you've already felt it. You wake up tired, not just physically, but in your bones. That steady drive you used to have? Gone. Erections that used to come naturally now feel forced, if they come at all. Some men try to blame age, others try to ignore it, but deep down, most feel what Frank felt. Like something vital is slipping away, piece by piece. You may not talk about it with your buddies, maybe not even with your doctor, but these symptoms are real. Fatigue that doesn't go away after a good night's sleep. A slow but constant loss of strength and stamina. A quiet emotional distance growing between you and your partner. A sense of being invisible, even in your own home. And behind it all, the most frustrating part. You've tried the multivitamins, the male formulas, even the testosterone gels. But nothing really changed. That's because the decline you're feeling isn't just about hormones. It's about what your body no longer absorbs the way it used to. After 60, your digestive system changes. Your hormone pathways shift. Even your brain's receptors respond differently. And the standard solutions? They're designed for younger bodies, not yours. That's why today's video isn't about another pill or patch. It's about fixing the foundation. And it all starts with 3 key nutrients your body is likely starving for, whether your blood work shows it or not. Most men assume aging just means slowing down. But here's what I've seen over and over in my clinic. What feels like just getting older. The fatigue, the brain fog, the weak erections, often comes down to something simpler and far more fixable. Deficiencies in 3 specific nutrients. These aren't minor gaps. They're often severe, and they hit hardest after age 60, when your body stops absorbing nutrients the way it used to. That's when everything starts to shift. Mental sharpness fades. Sex drive drops. Recovery slows down. But here's the catch. No one's testing for these. Most standard checkups skip right past them. And even fewer doctors connect them to male sexual or emotional decline. Yet, when we identify and correct these deficiencies, the results speak for themselves. Natural erections return. Energy comes back within days. Emotional connection with your partner feels real again. The first and most crucial? A vitamin that acts more like a hormone and controls everything from blood flow to confidence. If there's one nutrient I check first in every man over 60, it's vitamin D3. And here's why. D3 isn't just about bones or the immune system, It plays a critical role in male blood flow. When your D3 levels are low, your body struggles to produce nitric oxide, the molecule that relaxes blood vessels and allows for strong, natural erections. In other words, no D3, no proper circulation, no performance. Most men I test have dangerously low levels. Why? Because after 60, your skin produces less D3 from sunlight. You spend less time outdoors. And digestion, even with a healthy diet, doesn't absorb D3 efficiently anymore. What does that mean for you? Slower blood flow, colder hands and feet, trouble achieving or sustaining erections, even increased risk of depression and bone weakness. In fact, a 2020 study published in The Aging Male found that men with D3 levels under 20 ng/ml were 30% more likely to suffer from erectile dysfunction, regardless of testosterone levels. And here's the part no one tells you. You don't just need D3, you need it in the right form. D3, Cholecalciferol, and often in doses much higher than what's found in store-bought multivitamins. In my practice, most men see benefits only when they reach optimal blood levels between 50 and 70 mg/ml, not the minimal 30 that's often labeled as normal. When we bring D3 up to that optimal range, men report warmer limbs, easier erections, better sleep, more emotional steadiness. It's not magic. It's simply restoring a biological trigger your body relies on for male vitality. And once that blood starts flowing better again, everything else begins to follow. The second most overlooked deficiency in older men is vitamin B12, especially the active form known as methylcobalamin. Think of B12 as your body's ignition switch. It powers your nerves, fuels red blood cell production, and keeps your brain firing on all cylinders. But here's the problem. After 60, your stomach produces less intrinsic factor, the protein needed to absorb B12 from food. That means, even if you eat steak and eggs every morning, your body might not be absorbing what it needs. His blood work? Severely deficient in B12. After 8 weeks on a sublingual methylcobalamin supplement, the active form that dissolves under the tongue, Dennis was back in his garage, sharper than ever, and back in the bedroom with full energy. The key? You can't just grab any B12. Most cheap supplements use cyanocobalamin, a synthetic form that's poorly absorbed in older adults. You need methylcobalamin, the natural, neurologically active form, ideally at 1,000 mg per day, depending on your lab levels. Get this right, and most men feel a surge of energy within 7 to 10 days. It's like flipping the lights back on, mentally, physically, and sexually. If vitamin D3 gets the blood flowing and B12 keeps the brain sharp, vitamin E is what protects your masculine core. This fat-soluble antioxidant isn't just for heart health. It plays a direct role in maintaining testosterone levels, sperm quality, and the cellular vitality of your reproductive organs. But here's the issue. The form of vitamin E most men consume, synthetic alpha-tocopherol, is incomplete. It's missing the other critical tocopherols and tocotrienols your body needs. The result? You may be taking vitamin E and still aging faster. I call vitamin E the shield nutrient because it guards your cells from oxidative damage, the kind that builds up from years of stress, toxins, poor sleep, and even medication use. And oxidative damage doesn't just make you look older. It lowers testosterone, weakens erections, slows sperm production, and damages blood vessels in the penis. In a landmark study from the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology, men with optimal levels of vitamin E showed significantly higher free testosterone levels than those deficient, even when their total testosterone looked normal. That's a silent detail most blood tests won't reveal. I once worked with a 67-year-old retired police officer, Mike, who had tried TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, for over a year with minimal effect. We ran a micronutrient panel, and boom! Severe vitamin E deficiency. Within 2 months of switching to a natural, full-spectrum vitamin E complex, Mike's own testosterone started climbing, his libido returned, and his sense of being a man, in his words, was finally back. The takeaway? Don't settle for the cheap synthetic stuff. Look for natural vitamin E labeled as mixed tocopherols, with gamma and delta tocopherol included, not just alpha. When taken with a healthy fat source, like olive oil or avocado, your absorption triples, and your hormone system finally gets the antioxidant support it's been begging for. Here's where most men, even the disciplined ones, go wrong. They hear about D3, B12, and vitamin E. They head to the store. They grab the first bottle with a picture of a flexing bicep or a silver-haired model on the label, and they end up with the wrong forms of the right vitamins. Vitamin D2 instead of D3. D2 is cheaper and far less bioavailable. Your body struggles to use it. Cyanocobalamin instead of methylcobalamin. Synthetic B12 that older men absorb poorly, especially with reduced stomach acid. Isolated alpha-tocopherol instead of mixed tocopherols, missing the antioxidant synergy your hormones rely on. That one mistake? It can make the difference between real results and just more disappointment. Supplements aren't magic. They're tools, but only when they match what your body can actually use. And here's the kicker. Many brands underdose these vitamins or add fillers, dyes, and synthetic additives that interfere with absorption. That's why in my clinic, I always recommend pharmaceutical-grade, third-party tested forms, with proper dosages and delivery methods that match the digestive realities of men over 60. You don't need 20 different pills. You need the right 3, in the right forms, taken the right way. And when you get that part right, your body knows exactly what to do. Let me show you just how simple this can be. You don't need an expensive protocol or a dozen supplements lined up like dominoes. You need a precision routine built for men over 60 that your body can absorb and your life can sustain. Here's what I recommend to most of my patients. Morning routine. Vitamin D3, 5,000 IU with breakfast, alongside healthy fat, eggs, avocado, or olive oil. Vitamin B12, methylcobalamin, 1,000 mcg sublingual tablet, let it dissolve fully under the tongue before swallowing. Lunch or dinner. Vitamin E, 200 to 400 IU of natural mixed tocopherols, taken with a fat-containing meal. Bonus support. Light exercise or a walk outdoors for 15 minutes. This helps activate vitamin D and improves blood flow. Stay hydrated and minimize alcohol, which depletes B12 and vitamin E. In total, this takes less than 2 minutes a day, and the changes you'll start to feel can be profound. More stable energy throughout the day. Stronger morning erections. Clearer memory. Sharper focus. A renewed sense of presence in your own body. One of my patients, Roger, a 73-year-old retired air traffic controller, told me this routine made him feel like the guy I used to be, just wiser now. Taituz, it's not about turning back time. It's about giving your body back the tools it lost and watching your vitality rise naturally. Let's be honest, this isn't just about vitamins. It's about waking up and feeling like yourself again. It's about looking in the mirror and seeing a man with clarity, purpose, and the strength to keep showing up. Not out of obligation, but out of desire. You've carried a lifetime of responsibility. For your family, for your work, for your country. But now it's time to take responsibility for something else. your own restoration. Because masculinity after 60 isn't about being who you were at 30. It's about honoring everything you've lived through and building a body and mind that can carry you through what's next. You don't have to accept decline as your destiny. You don't have to disappear quietly. You just need the right support and the willingness to take one step toward it. And when you do, your vitality comes back, your confidence returns, your connection deepens with your partner, with yourself, and that silent part of you that feared you were fading starts to rise again. If anything in this video resonated with you, the fatigue, the frustration, the feeling of fading, don't wait. This is your second chance. These 3 vitamins may seem simple, but when delivered right, they become powerful levers for change. And change doesn't have to be hard. It just has to start. So here's what to do next. Check the video description below for the exact forms and dosages of the 3 essential vitamins every man over 60 should consider. No guesswork, just clear, practical guidance. Leave a comment below. Let me know what part of this hit home for you. And if you know a man over 60 who needs to hear this, share this video. It changed my life, and it could change his too. You are not alone in this. There is a community of men, strong, seasoned, and rising again, who are reclaiming health, purpose, and masculinity on their terms. Join us.